Hello and welcome back to our SNS channel. Today we will be focusing on a beautiful wedding nail set. We have already prepped our nails, and if you'd like to see a complete guide on how to do that, click the video above. We will begin by applying gelish base on our index and pinky nail. Then we dip twice into Say Yes number 8, Don't Be Coy. Shake off the nail and brush off the excess powder. We are also making sure we wipe our brushes in between applications to avoid any kind of cross-contamination. Apply a second layer on both nails, repeating all of our previous steps. Now we're going to use our SNS Sealer Dry. Make sure to seal all the tips. We will now be using Say Yes 13. Use gelish base on the remaining 3 fingers. We will now follow the exact same steps as before. Let's move on to sealer dry. Now we're going to use our S&S Sealer Dry. File and buff the nails to your desired shape and remove any imperfections. For this step, we're going to take a step away from the table and wash our hands. Make sure to not use any soap. Reapply Sealer Dry over all of your nails. Now, on to our design. Follow along with us to make this design. It's okay if it doesn't look exactly like ours. Part of the fun is to get creative and add your own flair. We are using a small tipped brush and our S&S French white gel for this design. After each design layer, cure under a UV light for 45 seconds. Make sure to adjust the time accordingly depending on the strength of your light. Here at S&S, we are using our S&S LED UV lamp. Our nail techs here love this lamp because it is a hybrid between UV and LED bulbs. Like mentioned before, adjust accordingly if your nails are not yet dry. Our S&S LED UV lamp is available on our website. I'll go ahead and leave the link below. Let's apply some S&S gel top to our now finished design. Now let's move on to the ring finger. We're using the same materials, we're just changing up our design a bit. Like I said earlier, this is an entirely creative design. Make sure to add your own flair, and most importantly, have fun with it. We wanted to add a bit more dazzle to this set, so we're going to go ahead and add some rhinestones to the thumb. Cure the whole set. We put about 45 seconds on our LED UV lamp. Now we're adding 2 layers of gel top to all of our nails. We always have to make sure the first layer is completely dry before we apply our second. Apply SNS Sunshine Vitamin Oil. This vitamin oil makes our nails look more vibrant and it promotes healthy growth. That wraps up our design. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you don't want to miss out on any of our content, hit the notification bell. We'll see you next time.